guys, Jim Dude from Jim Dude Guitars, and you have already seen this guitar, and I've done videos on it, but I just wanted to do another video about the Fender Stratocaster, because there's just something about a Fender that is special, at least to me as a guitar player. There's just some mojo or something to it. I don't know what it is, but anytime I'm learning something on guitar and I want to get it down, I always pick up the Fender to get the riff down or whatever lick I'm learning, because it's just, there's the easy playability. It just has a very wide variety of sounds, and I'm just curious about what makes the Fender Strat so special. So we're going to go over the specs and things of this guitar, and just kind of see what it is about this design and this guitar that has made it such a classic for many guitar players over the years, and why, you know, the style and the design hasn't changed. Because if it's not broken, no need to fix it. I mean, many companies have knocked this guitar off. You know, when purchasing the Fender Strat that I wanted, I didn't go Shure. I didn't go with any other brand that does the Strat style. I went with a Fender Strat because it's a Fender Strat. You just don't get any better than that. So this is American Professional Series. It replaced the American Standard Series, I believe. It's 3 single coil pickups, the V mods, which are great, and a volume and 2 tone, sorry, and the classic bent steel saddles, which are a must for me in guitars. They just have better resonance, in my opinion, playing acoustically without an amp. You know, like right now with no ampering, you can still hear the bends, and it just has a good So anyway, it's just fun to fiddle with when you don't even have it plugged up to anything. So basically, I think it's a combination of everything that makes this so special. I mean, another thing that I like to do, because I'm not a huge whammy bar guy, is the bridge is floating, but not really like a Floyd Rose floating. So it has a lot more stability, where you can actually lay your hand on pretty hard and you're not going to bend the strings. But if you hit a chord and you do want to bend, you just push with your palm. Here, turn the volume back on. And I can barely just press on that bridge and get a nice little vibrato. Because I don't like to have a whammy bar in the way when I play. I usually buy all my guitars fixed bridge, but I do have a Music Man, which is kind of a similar floating style bridge as this, where it's more stability. It's not as floating as a Floyd. And I like to have that option to give it a little bit of vibrato. So that's one thing I like about it. Another thing that most people don't talk about is the fretboard radius. This has got a great radius. I'm not exactly sure the fretboard radius. I want to say it's somewhere between like 9 and then 10 or something like that, but it's just perfect for playing shred to blues to chords. It's just got that perfect, I mean, you can grip your hand around it. It's got kind of a deep C neck profile, not too thick, not too thin. Definitely thicker than my ESP M403, but definitely thinner than the Music Man, so Stingray. So it's definitely very comfortable. One thing that did throw me off, but it's kind of grown on me, was the gloss fingerboard. I usually like see the light there shining off of it. I usually like a natural finish on the fretboard, but the gloss on it really does make the bends a lot easier, and that's also thanks to the fret wire. They did a great job. I mean, I could run my fingers up and down it on the side like this, and it's not going to catch or do any kind of poking at me or anything. One thing I did have to do on it was fiddle with the screws on the back. I did have to tighten them because I do use a little bit heavier strings than what most people would use. I do a 10 to 49 or 52 elixir set, and yeah, 10 to 4 or 11 to 49. That's it. And anyway, this has the treble bleed circuit and the tone, which makes it great so you don't lose any of your tone when rolling it off. I really like the variety with the maple wood neck and these pickups. It sounds great. So I just think there's something special about these guitars. They're classic for a reason. I went with white maple, kind of a Yngwie Jimi Hendrix vibe. It's always what attracted me to Strats was the white. And what's great is as this ages, it'll start to get a cream color, and it'll just look great as it gets older and ages and relics and dings and fretboard wear, which is another great thing about Fender, that when they get old and worn in, they just get better. So it's great. So anyway, this is it. You can do lots of different genres. I play mostly metal, but I also do like classic rock, country, twangs, and blues things. So this is perfect. This is basically anytime I'm recording clean or doing anything that needs a little more clarity, I use this guitar. So I'm just gonna play and just let you hear how it kind of inspires me. I don't have anything planned to play. I'm just gonna go off the top of my head. So we'll just let you hear how it sounds, and you guys tell me in the comments below what you think of Fender Strat. Are you more of a Tele guy? Do you like a different brand? Maybe you have the same opinions with Les Pauls, which I personally am not a huge Gibson fan. I mean, you can find some that are gems, but for the most part, the ones I've played just haven't been for me. I've always been more Fender than Gibson, but not gonna knock Gibson because I definitely have played several Les Pauls and SGs that were absolutely killer too, but they don't seem to do as many versatile tones as the Strat. And as you'll see with just these stock pickups, they have a pretty wide tonal range. So here we go. The neck pickup, tone, everything's all the way up. Neck and middle. I really like this sound. It has a twang that just screams Fender. pickup. Another thing that is a little bit of a downside is if you really start getting into a strum, you do have a tendency to hit this. So it does kind of get in the way. If I were to be playing on stage and didn't want it to move, I would just put a piece of tape over where, if I wasn't changing it in the middle of the song, that is. So to keep it locked down, because it's really easy to knock that to a different position. You wouldn't want that in the middle of a song. So middle, humbucker only. See the strat face? Alright. And middle and bridge. Last but not least, for clean, the bridge. By the way, sound chain is out of my guitar into Kemper profiling amp with the Trey Xavier Gear Gods Kemper pack, profile pack. It's got a PV 5150. I use the clean and distortion and lead channel for PV 150. Powered through my Kemper's the non-powered lunchbox with being powered by a 50 watt EVH 5153 ivory head, and yeah, it's the tone that I've been searching for. So a little heavier than what a Strat should be used to. Actually, if I take this clean PV 5150 channel and I turn the gain up to about 3 o'clock, I actually get a pretty decent vintage crunch. So this would be something you would kind of play some classic with. There we go. way more distortion than that, so this is what I would use. So even though they're single coil pickups, they still sound great with the distortion. And the reason is because I have it tweaked with EQ to where it still retains clarity but has plenty of saturation and distortion. I used to just distortion all the way up, scoop mids, and it was just god awful. You could barely hear one string note, let alone all of them. But as time grew on, and I got older, I realized how to refine my ear. And even though this isn't maybe the best distortion for a Strat, I still think it sounds great, and it still retains clarity, which is the most important thing when you're playing with the dirty channel. You want to be able to hear each string. So, we'll do a quick run over with all of the pickup selections. Here we go, starting with the bridge. Bridge and middle. Middle. And that's with no reverb or anything. That's not even the lead channel, and it's just amazing the sustain you get. Okay, middle, neck. And last but not least, neck. So, Fender Strat, pretty magical guitar, and like I said, just something that even as I would sit and be bored, I could just Just keep doing this all day. So, anyway, that's been my 23-minute video on Fender Strat, and hope you enjoyed it. And I look forward to seeing what you guys think about the Strat, and if you think it's as magical as I do. So, any support is greatly appreciated. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you again next time.